All right, guys, God bless you. Welcome. This is it, 4321. Listen, I want to do a quick video to bring you up to date on a clip I showed you the other day. Christine Lagarde was announcing the digital euro. So in Europe, they use a euro. It's their dollar over there. And they have a digital euro that's coming out that all European countries will be forced to use. I want to show you just one of the most amazing tie-togethers so you can see it and hear it with your own ears. But I have a short video that I saw several years ago, and now it all came together, and I just want to remind you. Remember I showed you these things. Remember Devok, which means adhering, clinging, evil spirit. That's what Devok means in Hebrew, Devok. Adhering, clinging, evil spirit. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? And remember, let's see. Remember that word right there that's in it? That word? Okay. Now, I want you to remember these colors. We'll use green. I'm going to use a green marker to delineate what's in these two tubes, okay? So the green marker will delineate what's in these two tubes. Okay, so when I draw, I'm going to draw in here for just a minute. I want to make this as simple as I can. It's so stupid obvious. It's like, oh no, that's not what you're doing. It's that stupid obvious, but I want you to see it. Okay, so if you have a house, and I'll just make, whatever, we'll have a little house here. There's your house. You have your house. I'm kind of in an angle here. We'll make it look like a face. Okay, so there's let's see, it looks like it's going to need to be bigger. Sorry, I know there's a little bit of a glare. I'm going to try and move this just a little bit closer. One moment. Let's see if this works. So I put the house over here a little out of the glare. So anyway, so you have a house, okay? Well, let's say you don't have internet in your house. So you get an internet company. And the internet company is like, yeah, we'll come over, but you don't have the wiring in your house to receive the cable, that's going to run your TV, your whole thing. So they say, you know what, we'll come out and we'll put the wire in your house. So then they come out and they run some wire through the walls. And then next thing you know, your whole house is wired up. And the green represents you all wired up, and you got all the wire. They ran all the wires, and they came in from the pole, whatever they needed to do, and they got all the wires in your house. And they said, all right, where do you want your box, your modem that's going to control your TV and all your stuff, right? And so then you choose a spot, and then they'll plug a hole through the wall there, and they'll run the wires out. They'll connect your modem and do all that great stuff. Okay, well, but first they have to come out and they have to wire up your house. They got to wire it up. They got to get the wire in the house. Now, you see that? You are the house. So, if they need the wiring in it, well, now let me ask you a question. Let's say you have a modem that comes into this house, but the modem is nefarious. It's run by, let's say, some other source, like maybe AI, that's like really something like out of the Terminator movies that you've seen. And it's a very nefarious thing, but you have no idea that it's really that nefarious. But let's say you brought your modem into that house, like inviting the vampire in. Well then, because you got the wiring in the house, once you put the modem in here, and the modem, and I can pull one up, but just different modems, it's usually like a little box that runs all your internet in one of your rooms by, one of your devices you're using. But the wiring in the house was this. This is what the wiring was. Now they need to put the modem in. So the guy's got to come in the house and plug it all in. Then there's a signal, and then the signal that comes from wherever, the signal comes in to the house. You have, your waves coming in, 5G, boom, 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 coming in from whatever tower you have, sending a signal, and then that is pumped into the house. Okay, let's see. There you go. So then that's pumped into the house. The signal is pumped into the house, and the house has already been wired up. And now, just to get everything that's in that signal to go through that house, all you got to do is put that modem in and install it. Well, so now they're passing the digital ID in Europe. They already had what's called the digital wallet. Okay, the digital wallet, a wallet is no different, than a little house in a way, if it's digital, because you need something that's in your wallet in order to be able to spend what's in it. So they called it the digital wallet. So they had already gotten through that part, and now they have the digital euro, which is you can send your currency straight to the house, and the house can receive the currency in digital form. Well, if you're the house, so now we just make you the house. So there you are, there's you, you're the house. That's one of your eyes. I'll make that the other eye. Put a smiley face on it, and you become the house. Do you understand? It's like the board. Y'all ever see the movie Star Trek? I think it's I forgot the name of the one, but First Contact maybe, where they assimilate data. Anyway, so the house becomes you. You are the house, but now access has been granted to the house through this. All right, okay, sit tight.
I just left the room where we had the negotiations about the digital identity, and I have bad news. The Member States and the European Parliament came to an agreement. That means that probably not far from now, the digital identity will be a fact in the European Union. Right after this agreement, Commissioner Breton said, now we have the digital identity wallet, we have to put something in it. And what he meant was the digital euro.
Okay, now let me adjust my settings. The digital euro, he said, now we need something to put in the digital wallet, which is digital money, a dollar. So the dollar is no longer a piece of paper that goes in your wallet. It's only digital. You can't spend a dollar that's in your wallet because now it's only digital. There's no way to spend a dollar unless you do it digitally. Now, they've already wired up the house. The house has been wired. The little house has been wired up, just like you're going to get your new cable box. But when that cable box comes in and you're the house, it takes away any other source, because see, your other eye, one eye goes to heaven, one eye goes to the pit. When the pit comes in and takes over, this eye no longer has any free will of its own. Do you understand? It's taking away your connection to get back home. That's what this is all about. Your spark that's in you is what they want. The most valuable thing there is. Why do you think the Lord told me I had to make sure I told you how valuable you are to Him? That He would come buy you back. Do you understand how valuable you are? And they're doing all this to be able to make sure they get that spark. Now watch this other clip. Okay? He said they have to make a digital, now that they have a digital wallet, they need something to go in the wallet. And he was talking about the digital ID, the digital euro. Okay, so now let's see if I can get this thing going. If I can get this to work, I'm going to go back a little bit. So now he's going to say, now they're waiting for something to go in the wallet.
Now we have the digital identity wallet, we have to put something in it. And what he meant was the digital euro, also known as the central bank digital currency. And this is a very bad development. They always promise us not to make this connection. And even a lot of experts, privacy experts and security experts, warned also last week this is a very bad idea for our privacy and our freedom.
Just as they said it was a CP. You know what CP is, right? This is a CP right here. Yeah, so even though they said it was just, oh no, that would never happen, this monster right here, this monster, Herman Munster, let me play what this Herman Munster has to say.
And we started working on the digital euro way back. Actually, when I started my term 5.5 years ago. And I'm not claiming, you know, parentality on the digital euro, because my colleague Benoît Cœuré had already committed a speech on this matter before I arrived. But I certainly carried on with that project.
I just want to point out, can you see how proud and prideful she is about this? She just thinks she's all, oh, I can't take full credit for it, even though I really want to. It's like, dude. Jesus said he would send them strong delusion in the end because they had pleasure in unrighteousness. Wanting to enslave and control everybody is unrighteousness.
And subsequently, Fabio Panetta on the board, and then Piero Cipollone, who has replaced Fabio, have, you know, taken the lead together with a very, very good team, which is focused on accelerating the pace and hopefully campaigning enough with all the stakeholders, meaning European Parliament, meaning European Council, meaning European Commission, so that we can eventually, you know, not put to bed, but put to reality this digital euro. The deadline for us is going to be October of 25.
October of 25, you just heard it out of her own mouth. It's already here. Just like they're going to go out and put cable in someone's house and put a modem in it, you're the house. Their deadline in Europe is October 25. That's like right in front of you now. April, May, June, July, August, September. That's 6 months away before they start saying, you know what, if you want to use any currency, you're going to have your own digital ID installed, and your wallet's going to have to be in your hand or in your forehead because you're already wired up. The house is wired up. Now remember, the cumulative sum of the house is you. If you've already been wired up with any of that, well, you've got the wiring in you already. Once the modem comes in, you're done. So don't get the modem. All right. I love you guys in Christ. We are the Bear Hug Cult. I believe everybody needs a hug. This is you. This is Johnny. If you got a pillow, you got a bear, you got a stuffed animal, think good thoughts. Thank the Lord for what he did for us. You know, the other guys, the other team, when I say other team, I mean Satan and his army that lives inside the host body system. They have ceremonies like at Bohemian Grove called the cremation of care. Care, you know, like hugging a teddy bear. That's why I do it. Yeah, you know, they don't want you to be caring and loving anymore. They want you to evolve into the reptiles that they are. Do you think a snake feels remorse when it chokes out a rabbit? You think a snake's worrying about how that rabbit feels? No. That's their natural thing. If you got commingled with that, they want to make sure they finish the job and make you all of them. Do you understand? Why do you think the Vatican's a snake eating angels? Who's a snake? The dragon, that old dragon that was cast down, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. Cast down into where? The host body system. Okay. Anyway, don't take the bait. If you already took that, just don't take the next. Say no. Make your stand. That's the hill you die on. Don't do it no matter what. Now I'm going to play Revelation out of the Bible so you can hear what the Bible says. Okay, and if anyone wants to know how to get here, just type in Bible Gateway, and then you go over here, you go Bible Book List, you cruise down here to Revelation, then we'll go to Revelation 13, because at the end of Revelation 13, you're going to get to hear exactly what we're talking about. It's not a very long chapter, so it's very short, so just keep your ears on. And down here around verse 14, or around verse 13, you really should pay attention. And then right here, you're going to learn all about it, okay? So here we go. Let's do it. And if you want to play this on your computer, here's what you do. You go over here to this little icon. That's your speaker. It'll open up a new window.
Revelation 13.
There you go, and then go back.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power, and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth, and them which dwell therein, to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads.
I'm going to pause it. Now I'm going to go to eSword. Okay, so I'm going to eSword to remind you about that word I showed you. Remember Devok? What it is? What's Devok? It means a clinging spirit, a possession of a malevolent, which means ill, malevolent, mean, odious, harmful, an odious, malevolent spirit. Okay, and then I showed you that the delivery system looks like a palisade and a stake, because a fence that's made of metal palisades is identical to this thing right here on your screen, and I'm circling. See that long metal tip, right? And look, this comes out of it. So it's a palisade and a stake. You see that right there? That's a great definition for what you're looking at on your screen. A palisade, let me just show you palisades. Here's a whole bunch, look, here's a whole bunch of palisade tips. You can see that they're long metal strips that form a fence to fence you in. So here are some of the different types tips. So if I simply take this tip right here, this set of tips, and I go like this and shove it into the folder, I go right here. There's a palisade right there. I mean, totally exactly a palisade. So now I've identified a palisade for you in a stake. Okay, so now let's go to eSword so you know exactly what it says. That everyone's going to have to take that mark because everyone's already been wired up now. And they're going to want you to take the mark in your right hand or your forehead. Now, ready? The word mark, it says karmagma as a badge of servitude, a stamp that shows who you're loyal to. And it says a stake and a palisade, a rampart military mound for circumvallation in a siege, a trench. So you're literally being surrounded like they did to Jerusalem. And if this is the way you surround someone inside their own body, you put the wiring in. Remember, you put the wiring in the house. Now the wiring's in the house. Okay, you got it in. Got the wiring in the house. That was what was done to everybody. Then when you bring the modem in and this thing goes online, this other eye over here, that was your other connection up, this one's down. That's going to take over the whole system because it's going to get a signal that comes into this house to destroy this one's ability to get out of the house, because we're all trapped in a house of sorts. You know it's true when you see it and you know what's true and the truth lives in you. That's so stupid obvious, it's absurd. But I can show people the Vatican's a snake and it means nothing to them. How bizarre is that? I can show people that all the bombings of all the buildings in the United States that were terrorist activities are printed on our money in our wallet, but doesn't seem to have any real effect on most people. It's like, who's the one that's like not awake? Me or them? Well, if I can show you the Vatican's a snake, but you can't receive it, and that doesn't mean anything to you when you're supposed to be walking in the door to worship the God of heaven, you're worshiping the God of the pit. That's a little bit of a, little bit of a twist, don't you think? Anyway, so, all right. There it is, palisade and a stake in the right hand or their forehead. There's a palisade and a stake. That's what it looks like. And there's people standing in line to get their wiring right there. Those are all the people standing in line to get their wiring. It's funny that the picture they put up was right side up, upside down. Isn't that fascinating? Well, of course it is, because they know it's a twin system. Cain is head down, Abel's head up. Evil, just like the people's reflection head down, that's the evil part. Abel head up. So evil head down, good head up. Kingdom of heaven is up, the pit's down. And that's why they took a picture of all the wiring right there on top of mirrors. Why do you think they took that picture on top of mirrors? Okay, so it's all been right. Everything the Lord showed me. It's right here in Akhenaten too, which is our next thing that we're working on for you, to show you how this hieroglyph is everywhere. You just couldn't see it. Yep, it's the whole system. Okay, peace and grace. So, if you don't mind, I'm just going to finish with her running her proud mouth again. Let's do that.
Parentality on the digital euro, because my colleague Benoit Cœuré had already committed a speech on this matter before I arrived, but I certainly carried on with that project, and subsequently Fabio Panetta on the board and then Piero Cipollone, who has replaced Fabio, have taken the lead together with a very, very good team which is focused on accelerating the pace and hopefully campaigning enough with all the stakeholders, meaning European Parliament, meaning European Council, meaning European Commission, so that we can eventually, not put to bed, but put to reality this digital euro. The deadline for us is going to be October of 25, and we are getting ready for that deadline, but we will not be able to move unless the other parties, the stakeholders, as I call them, Commission, Council and Parliament, actually complete the legislative process, without which we will not be able to move. And I think it is critically important, and it seems to the agnostic or the skeptics, it seems to be more relevant and more of an imperative now.
So isn't that just so fascinating how she's saying that to the agnostics and the skeptics, like there is no God, there's no God, everything. It's a fool that says in his heart there is no God. Trust me, I've met the Lord. Oh yeah. You don't want to be on the wrong side of that. I can guarantee you that. And what she just said was the Gnostics, the agnostics and the skeptics have informed her you need to accelerate this and this. It's already scheduled for October of 25. That's 6 months away. 6 months away. Are you ready for that, guys? 6 months will be over like that. And then over there, at least over there, they're going to be demanding that. You don't know what's going to happen here in the U.S. Any given day, all hell's about to break loose. So, all right. The king. All right. Love you guys.